everyone, Atomic Deadman here, and I'd like to welcome you to another video. Today we'll be looking at Back4Blood on what needs to change from what has been seen within the game thus far. Just a quick disclaimer is that this is all pre-alpha footage we have seen thus far, so changes can still be made. I would only be worried if we were in a beta stage, but this is pre-alpha. Also, in my latest video, it shows that 91.6% of you are not yet subscribed. If you could, please click that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. What this channel is really about is pure gaming news, game reviews, and a voice for the community's wish list of what we want and future titles of upcoming video games. I try to upload at least once a week, so if you want to be notified when a video goes live, hit that small little bell icon down below. With all that being said, kick back, relax, and enjoy today's show. The first issues that I really noticed about the game is that with the tall boys or bruisers, is their reach to actually hit you is way too good. Like, they can hit you very, very far away, and this needs to be reduced. Seeing that this is going to be a first-person modern zombie type of shooter game, I believe for rifles and AR-15s within the game, they should have some type of switch on the side of the firearm to have single shot, burst shot, and fully automatic. This would vastly improve the gameplay. A few more checkpoints in case you die would be a nice feature, or to at least spawn at the nearest safe house. What's frustrating in the game is some characters spawn only with melee weapons, trying to deem them as a melee type of character. This needs to change for the future so players actually have the option of having to choose between a pistol or a melee weapon depending on their build, and it would give more versatility within the game and more options to the player. Balancing issues in the game is where it seems when you go to the boat near the end of the sequence, you have to plant 2 bombs, and it's almost near impossible because bruisers will just knock you off the ship and instantly kill you, as well as hordes and hordes and hordes of endless zombies just barrage you until you fail. You have 4 players. If one of them goes down, you're usually fucked on this aspect. There were some minor visual bugs that I came across, such as like a hair turning white and or transparent, where the player models will start T-posing when trying to use an interactable crank or object, and there's no struggling animation when you get stuck in the phlegm of a hawker within the game, which is a special infected. So it's just very frustrating that all that's in the game, but it's not a big deal seeing it's pre-alpha. After you move into a new segment and or area from a safe house, the game sometimes changes you to a different character and will swap you to another character that you didn't select prior. They need to change this because this is a huge thing. So if you switch with another character, you'll have someone else's entire gun, set, everything, you know, all the stuff they picked up and purchased. And that's not good if you're playing with a bunch of randoms in the future. That needs to be sorted out quick and fast. What would be a more player-friendly type of feature is if you find these other guns out in the field, which you already do. If you could take the attachments off that specific firearm and put them in your pocket or some type of backpack space and equip them to other firearms that you pick up throughout the world, or even take the scopes and stuff or attachments you have in your current gun out in the field and put it on your new firearm. This would just be a lot nicer and a lot easier than having to buy all new stuff for your gun. There were some subtle lag issues and zombies freezing in place, but I'm sure they'll get that ironed out. Player skins should be added for free on existing default characters or some sort of, I don't want to use a battle pass, but something similar to that or something of that nature. If you play a lot, you get free skins just by playing the game and getting XP or leveling up or something of that nature. That would be cool to see in the game, where you could get some skins for your character. Crowd control is one of the biggest issues I've actually seen in this game. It's one of the major things that usually destroys characters. There needs to be some type of system where it spawns pipe bombs or something of that nature that attract zombies out in the field that you can pick up or find to make looting feel a little bit more better. This is just me being a little nitpicky, but I love to see the statistics at the end of each segment in Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 of how everyone did and how much damage they did to the tank or to the witch, or you know, how many special infected they killed or just normal infected they killed. I'd love to see that make a return within this game. Sometimes if you fall to your death, you will fall through the map first and then die. They need to fix that. It's just a little bug that I came across. And when it comes to crowd control, they just need some sort of feature that has a better crowd control mechanic such as the pipe bombs that I was saying earlier, or fire bottles scattered throughout each level instead of being forced to buy everything with copper. I understand the copper system, but they need to put random stuff out there within the world for players to be able to loot and pick up, and making these items more valuable if you find them for free within a random RNG based type of system in the world that could potentially spawn these. I know that there's a lot more secondary weapons that you can get, and there's cards now where you could have 2 primary weapons within the game, but I'd really like to see dual wielding handguns just being standard within the game. This was one of my biggest gripes with this game. There's no push button like Left 4 Dead. You literally push your enemies away with a gun in Left 4 Dead, or pistol whip them, or whatever. You push them away from you in Left 4 Dead. In this game, there's no shoving. There's no shoving at all. It's all about clicking the V button on mouse and keyboard and just punching people in the face. There needs to be a shove button within the game, even if it does take your stamina away. There needs to be a shove button, not just a punch button. The shove button should stagger enemies backwards and kind of stun them. The punch button, it kind of just stuns them a little bit for a second and does a tiny bit of damage, and it's not effective at all for crowd control. There's also another bug within the game that make player models just jiggle back and forth, like left to right, insanely fast, and I think they'll iron that out as well, seeing it as pre-alpha. One thing that I was very intrigued with this game was the loot system to the game with the firearms. I'd really like to see them build off this type of system and have a character leveling system that illustrates how much you play as a single character, and potentially give them passive buffs if a player decides to prestige that character. Examples could include: get this player to level 50, then you can prestige and choose to get a permanent increase of 1% to the player's XP multiplier, 1% to player damage dealt with melee weapons, 1% increase to range damage, or a 1% increase to your character's health. This would just be a nice feature if these buffs were stackable up to how many ever prestiges they added, and if they added this type of system. Also, here's just a quick thank you to my supporters and Patreons. If you want to become a member today, that would be absolutely awesome. The link is down in the description below, but here's a special thank you to LJK1232. Back 4 Blood releases on June 22nd of 2021 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows Marketplace. If you enjoyed today's show, please make sure to subscribe, because 91.6% of you are not yet subscribed, and I'd really love to see you guys around the channel more often. Make sure to hit that tiny little itty bitty bell icon to get notified once a week when a new video goes live. I really do hope that you all enjoyed your time with me, as I always do with you, your host, Atomic Dudman, and until next time.